Hey team, this video is just going to go through sort of some of the opportunities that we had for poach blocks in practice and how they ended up working out. As a recap, what we talked about in the first video was sort of there's two options or two different types. One where you're sort of standing in space in the lane and you're basically like reading what the thrower is doing. And then number two is when you could still be standing in space, I suppose, but where you're sort of trying to see what the thrower can see and basically get an early jump before they've decided to throw or before they've shown that they're going to throw. So this first clip is an example of option one. Option one is not, I'm not implying that it's a bad thing. I think it's less likely to generate like hands on disc blocks, but it is really good for like stopping pull plays and just making it so that a thrower can't throw through a lane. So the pull comes down, the disc gets centered to Connor here, and our defender is kind of in the lane and almost is able to generate a block. To go back, I think I'm going to try to use this as an example of sort of like the unpredictable speed, the unpredictable quickness that you kind of need to be able to have to generate actual hands on disc blocks here. So this is right around the time that Connor decides that he's going to throw the disc, and our defender is right here. So the disc goes up, and I'm going to try and pause it, sort of like right where the defender would kind of have hands on it to move forward a little bit. Oop, I've done that twice now. I promised the line was here. So we haven't we've moved a little bit in that direction, but it's just really, really tough to react and actually expect to get our hands on discs this way. So I would use this method for when we're sort of trying to deny access to a lane, but I wouldn't expect it to actually help us get our hands on the discs unless we are really, really, really exceptionally fast. So the second clip is sort of an example of option number two, which is sort of trying to see what the thrower is seeing. So I will let the clip play through and then we can discuss. So on this play, Ahmet is able to get a block, which is great. As the player, I don't know who this is. I'm so sorry. I don't know your name, but I'll learn it eventually. As they're clearing up field, Ahmet is keeping his eye out for other options that are generating or that are being generated, and he sees that there's going to be an open cut coming under here, and he does take a peek behind him, but that whole block started by Ahmet trying to look upfield and see what other options would be generated. Here's another example of just kind of prioritizing somebody that's not your direct mark, but somebody that you've kind of identified as being dangerous. So I'll let the clip go through. Ellie's going to throw a big hammer. So it already happened. It was Hobbs. Hobbs did a fabulous job. So where we want to be looking, Hobbs is down here. Ahmet is up here, sort of just uncovered. It was kind of like an awkward high stall hammer situation, so everything was sort of out of sorts. And Ahmet is just basically, if Hobbs does nothing here, Ahmet's just going to continue kind of running up the field unmarked and getting the disc every other. And Hobbs just kind of decides that Ahmet is the dangerous option here, and that there's a lot of help. A lot of teammates are up here in this space. Hobbs' mark is back here, and worst case is that her player gets the disc and can move it up the break side. But if she doesn't make any move here, then Ahmet just sort of gets the disc for free. So Hobbs just marks up Ahmet for several seconds and totally shuts him down, and then everything just kind of continues. So I just thought this was really great recognition of just, hey, this is the dangerous threat right now. Let me just guard them for a second and then recover. So that was fabulous. So yeah, overall, I was super psyched to see that there was a bunch of opportunities, and this was not all of them. But I think it was a really good job focusing on that during practice, and y'all did great.